Good morning. I'm Paul Brown, and I am the outgoing director of the Trinity St. James's Cancer Institute. It's an enormous privilege and a pleasure for me today to welcome everyone to this very, very special occasion. Not only to welcome those who are physically present at this special event, but also so many of you have taken the time this morning out of your very busy schedules to join us virtually, both in other live streamed rooms and from further afield. This is a particularly important day in the 5-year development of our institute. I simply recall 5 years ago, the commitment of Trinity College and St. James's Hospital jointly to establish at a high level the joint enterprise, which has now developed into what we will hear much more about from our very distinguished speakers today. That original announcement, hard to believe, was 5 years ago, where the Provost, Patrick Prendergast, and the then CEO of St. James's Hospital, Lorcan Berthistle, were joined by the then Minister for Health, Simon Harris, in the front square of Trinity College to announce this very, very important commitment and how far we have travelled. So without further ado, it is a great pleasure for me to invite the Chief Executive Officer of St. James's Hospital, Miss Mary Day, to introduce and open this most important day. Mary.
Morning, everybody. Taoiseach colleagues, thank you for joining us this morning to mark this momentous occasion on signing the Memorandum of Understanding, which will deliver Ireland's first comprehensive cancer centre. The establishment of a comprehensive cancer centre is firmly embedded in national policy and will meet objectives and aims of a range of government strategies. St. James's Hospital has a long-standing partnership with Trinity College Dublin, Ireland's leading university. The two institutions are now further consolidating this partnership in cancer by signing this Memorandum of Understanding, working towards the establishment of a comprehensive cancer centre. I am delighted this morning also to announce the appointment of our two co-directors, Professor John Kennedy and Professor Maeve Lowery, eminent clinicians, academics and researchers who will lead the next phase of this programme. I would also like to acknowledge Professor Paul Brown, who has so diligently provided the leadership over the last number of years and successfully led us to achieving OECI accreditation for the Trinity St. James's Cancer Institute. Professor John Reynolds for his clinical leadership on the Cancer Institute, and also Mr. Declan Sheehan for his excellence in chairmanship and oversight of the Cancer Executive. I would also like to pay tribute to our Deputy CEO, Anne Dalton, who has worked tirelessly over the last number of years to drive forward this cancer programme and enabled us to reach this milestone today. Thank you, Anne. The Trinity St. James's Cancer Institute is a centre of excellence for the delivery of a cancer care accommodating the largest medical oncology programme and is recognised internationally as a leading research cancer centre. The demand for new primary cancer patients coming to the Trinity St. James's Cancer Institute is expected to increase by 51% over the next 17 years. The delivery of a dedicated facility on the St. James's Hospital campus will provide world-class care to patients, accommodate the rising national demand for cancer service, and will effectively house research, clinical trials, education and clinical care into one setting. Having Ireland's premier university and Ireland's largest acute hospital in the country working together for the benefit of cancer patients can only lead to great achievements. Evidence shows that the best outcomes for patients are achieved in centres of excellence where cancer care is developed, combining scientific and technological advances. World-class research supports innovation and the development of innovative cancer therapies through the mechanisms of cancer clinical trials, impacting positively on patients' outcomes and experiences. Becoming a comprehensive cancer centre requires a specialist level and scale of clinical cancer care, education, provision, research capabilities and infrastructure that are recognised at an international level. The Trinity St. James's Cancer Institute is uniquely and strongly placed to provide this level of cancer care for Ireland. The Trinity St. James's Cancer Institute is Ireland's first and only institute to receive Cancer Centre accreditation from the OECI. This is an interim step in the path to achieve a full comprehensive cancer centre accreditation. Trinity St James's Cancer Institute has committed to raise industry and philanthropy funding to progress essential elements to become a comprehensive cancer centre and reduce the level of public investment required. And the Trinity St James's Cancer Institute is committing resources to significantly increase the level of clinical trials available to patients. The St James's campus has a range of services to provide the holistic care required to both adults and adolescents being treated for cancer. The hospital campus, which accommodates St Luke's Radiation Oncology Network, co-located with the new National Paediatric Hospital and Trinity Health Sciences building, will also accommodate the Coombs Hospital into the future, presents us with a unique and unparalleled opportunity to create and deliver a world-class academic health science centre located here in the Liberties within the Dublin 8 district of our city. The campus will rank amongst the largest and most contemporary and comprehensive healthcare science centres in Europe. The Trinity St James's Cancer Institute will be located in a purpose-built, state-of-the-art facility on the St James's Healthcare campus. This will enable cancer service to be delivered in a pandemic-resilient campus into the future. It will also guarantee that the journey for the cancer patient will be protected and ensure that the appropriate diagnosis and treatment occur at the right time, in the right place, and by the right clinician. By signing this MOU today, we are committed to harnessing considerable expert clinical and scientific resources we have available to us to benefit cancer patients and their families locally, nationally, and internationally. Thank you. I would now like to introduce our Provost, Dr. Patrick Prendergast, to speak.
Thank you very much, Mary. Taoiseach, Pro-Chancellor, colleagues, distinguished guests, on this hugely significant day, I'm delighted to be here in St James's Hospital, welcoming you in person and connecting with many more around the world. Trinity and St James's have worked tirelessly to get this initiative to this point. The signing of an agreement to formalise the governance of the Trinity St James Cancer Institute and the formal announcement of the appointment of 2 new directors. Academic Director, Professor Maeve Lowery, Professor of Translational Cancer Medicine, Consultant Medical Oncologist at St James's Hospital, and Chairperson of the Cancer Molecular Diagnostics Advisory Group of the National Cancer Control Programme. And as Medical Director, John Kennedy, Consultant Medical Oncologist at St James's Hospital and Clinical Professor of Oncology at Trinity College. This follows from the announcement last November that the Trinity St James Cancer Institute is the first cancer institute in Ireland to receive accreditation from the Organisation of European Cancer Institutes. The OECI is a guarantor of excellence in clinical care, research, clinical trials, education, and research, and enables a deep cooperation with peer institutions and hospitals across Europe. It's now almost 6 years since Trinity College and St James's Hospital announced our intention to jointly establish a cancer institute. Already at that time, we were long-established partners. In setting our ambition, we understood the vital importance for Ireland's cancer care and for global cancer research, and we knew that together we had the unique capabilities to achieve this ambition. In medicine and biological sciences, Trinity is ranked in the top 1% of research institutions globally. And the Trinity Biomedical Sciences Institute, TBSI, is Ireland's largest biomedical research facility, home to the country's greatest critical mass of scientists and immunologists. St James's Hospital is Ireland's largest public cancer hospital, with an excellent record in patient care and clinical trials. The hospital and university have worked together through the Trinity Centre for Health Sciences and the Trinity Translational Medicine Institute, both located here on the St James's campus. 4 years ago, the government rolled out the National Cancer Strategy, which sets the fundamental aims of raising Ireland's cancer survival rates to the top quartile in the European Union, establishing seamless patient pathways, and developing a robust environment for research. The Trinity St. James Cancer Institute is central to the delivery of the National Cancer Strategy, and we welcome the Taoiseach here today. From our initial commitment, the Trinity St. James Cancer Institute has progressed strongly, and that's thanks to the project leaders in Trinity and St. James's. The Trinity Bursar, Professor Veronica Campbell, the Deputy CEO of St. James's, Anne Dalton, the Chair of the Trinity St. James Cancer Institute Development Group, Declan Sheehan, and the inaugural Director of the Institute, Professor Paul Brown. My thanks to you all and to your teams. Trinity's deep commitment to the Trinity St. James Cancer Institute and our confidence in it is demonstrated by our placing it at the heart of our philanthropic campaign, Inspiring Generations, launched in its public phase 2 years ago. Through Inspiring Generations, we're asking graduates and friends of Trinity to donate to advance excellence in education and research. And the response has been phenomenal. And our donors' benefaction is enabling the Trinity St. James Cancer Institute to establish leadership posts, to accelerate research and to accelerate clinical trials, and develop the next generation of cancer clinicians and scientists, and deliver improved care and outcomes. And I'm really pleased that later today we will hear from Dr. Stanley Queck, a key donor to the Institute, and I'm delighted to have this opportunity here to publicly thank him. Stanley is also a Pro-Chancellor of the University of Dublin. His commitment to Trinity and indeed to Ireland is outstanding. With the Memorandum of Understanding and the two directors now in place, the Trinity St. James Cancer Institute can move to the next phase of its development, scaling its activities across the key areas of patient care, research, and education. Examples of such activity include building on the world-leading expertise we have in immunology to advance cancer immunotherapies, discovering targets to enhance radiotherapy treatment in prostate cancer patients, new exercise interventions to improve patient well-being after esophageal and thoracic cancer surgery, leadership in cancer clinical trials, for example, the Neo-Aegis clinical trial in esophageal cancer involving Trinity researchers and St. James's clinicians, establishing pioneering world-class postgraduate programs, developing flexible cancer training modules for multidisciplinary healthcare professionals around Ireland. The next phase of the Institute will be a dedicated building here in the St. James's campus, integrating the best of research and clinical practice and delivering highly specialized integrated care in the best possible environment for the patient. We look forward to the launch of that building. I believe that with the excellent leadership in Trinity and St. James's and the support of the government and the generosity of our donors, it will happen in a timely fashion. In the meantime, the Trinity St. James Cancer Institute is, of course, already happening. Trials, research, and interventions are delivering for cancer patients in Ireland and for global cancer research. As we welcome the two new directors here today, we wish you and your teams the very best, and we look forward to the continuing progression of the Trinity St. James Cancer Institute, confident that it will take its place as one of the great cancer centres of Europe and the world. And now, I'm very pleased to say that we will hear from Taoiseach Micheál Martin. Thank you.
delighted to join you here today for the official signing of the Memorandum of Understanding for the Trinity St. James's Cancer Institute and the announcement of the directors of the Institute. I would like to thank Dr. Mary Day, CEO of St. James's Hospital, and Patrick Prendergast, Provost of Trinity, for inviting me to today's event. I am aware that the Trinity St. James's Cancer Institute has been accredited as a cancer institute by the Organisation of European Cancer Institutes. This is an important achievement, and I know that this initiative will help to foster high-quality comprehensive cancer care, research and education to the ultimate benefit of patients. The National Cancer Strategy places a significant emphasis on the importance of research in the provision and development of cancer services in Ireland. The positive impact of research activity, including clinical trials, on the care of patients is evident. One of the key aims of the strategy is to develop a culture in the cancer care system that values research and is supportive of those who actively engage in it. Steps are being taken to build on progress already made to ensure that cancer research is aligned with cancer control priorities and integrated with cancer care. To this end, the HSE's National Cancer Control Programme have established a National Cancer Research Group, which includes representatives of the Department of Health, the NCCP, Health Research Board, and the Irish Cancer Society. This year also saw the signing of a renewed Memorandum of Understanding for the Northern Ireland National Cancer Institute Cancer Consortium, which I was pleased to discuss directly with US President Joe Biden. This consortium will build on the strong foundations laid by the original partnership to further critical cancer research and to ensure that the island of Ireland remains firmly embedded on the global cancer research map. The improvements made in recent years in cancer prevention, early diagnosis, treatment and post-treatment supports have led to better outcomes for those living with and beyond the cancer diagnosis in Ireland. Innovative partnerships such as the Trinity St. James's Cancer Institute will ensure that outcomes for patients continue to improve through a combination of research, education, and access to clinical trials. The government is strongly committed to the continued improvement of cancer care in Ireland, notwithstanding the disruption and challenges presented by the COVID-19 pandemic. We have allocated €12 million in budget 2021 for the restoration of cancer services in the context of the pandemic. This is supporting diagnostic services, virtual clinics and triage, organisation of treatment services, minor capital works and psychosocial supports. On top of that, an extra €20 million has been allocated for the continued implementation of the National Cancer Strategy this year. Funding in 2021 will progress ongoing initiatives and drive improvements across all stages of the cancer continuum. I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate Professor Maeve Lowery and Professor John Kennedy on their appointments as directors of the Institute, and the very best of luck to you both in these roles. In conclusion, I congratulate everyone involved in this initiative and in today's signing, and I look forward to the exciting work ahead. It is only by working together that we can achieve the vision of the National Cancer Strategy. That is, to prevent cancer and work to improve the treatment, health and well-being experiences and outcomes of those living with and beyond cancer.
We are extremely grateful to Taoiseach Micheál Martin for taking the time out of an extraordinarily busy schedule, both personally on behalf of the Government of Ireland, to mark this very important occasion. And we are very well aware of the Taoiseach's commitment over many, many years to the cancer agenda, and the very, very exciting and encouraging support that he has outlined on behalf of government is something to be truly welcomed. And at this point, therefore, in front of Taoiseach, the Pro-Chancellor of Trinity, the Chairman of the Board of St. James's, I am going to invite formally the Provost, Patrick Prendergast, and the Chief Executive Officer, Mary Day, to come up and to sign the Memorandum of Understanding, which we are all here, both those of us gathered in physical and virtual privilege to witness. Provost, Chief Executive Officer. On behalf of all of us, congratulations and many thank you personally to Paddy and to Mary for all you have done to bring this forward to this most important day and to mark progress into the future. We're all very grateful to both of you. Thank you very much. So at this stage now, we're going to progress to the next very important phase of this momentous day. And it is a pleasure for me to introduce a series of 3 video contributions. The first will come from Sharon, who will introduce herself, and Sharon has lived with cancer and experienced it. So I will let her describe to you her own encounter and experience with this. The second contribution, reflecting the international importance of the Trinity St. James's Cancer Institute project and what has been articulated in relation to Ireland's national cancer strategy for the next, for this current decade, is a contribution from Professor Eileen O'Reilly from the world-renowned Memorial Sloan Kettering Institute. And we're very, very delighted and honoured that Eileen has taken time to contribute. And then the third contribution and the final contribution on these 3 videos will come from Dr. Stanley Queck, who, as Provost has told you, is currently the Pro-Chancellor of Trinity College and has been an enormous friend and supporter, not only of Trinity, but of Ireland, and fostering a unique relationship between Ireland and Singapore, and indeed Ireland globally, with many, many friends all around the world over the last 40 years. So we are very privileged indeed to have these 3 contributions.
I'm Sharon, and in September 2019, when I was 39, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. At the time, I always thought cancer was something that happened to other people. It knocks you for 6. As my treatment, I had chemo, followed by surgery, followed by radiotherapy, and I also took part in a clinical trial for Pembro, and I got that every 3 weeks along with my chemo. I was seen within 2 weeks of my doctor making a referral for me when I found the initial lump. I arrived in at 8 o'clock for my appointment, and by 9:30 I had seen a doctor who'd physically examined me. I'd had a mammogram, an ultrasound and a biopsy. Which was amazing, having all those things all together. I was diagnosed in September, and then they had said to me it'd be chemo first. So I started chemo in October. If I hadn't been doing the trial, I probably would have started sooner, but there was a lot of checks done before. So it was extra scans, extra checks beforehand. The next step was surgery. I had a single mastectomy, so they took the whole left breast, and I also had auxiliary node clearance because it was the node that I had found. I didn't have a lump in my breast, but I found a lump under my arm. So that was what had alerted me initially. Towards the end of May, I had radiotherapy. I had 15 rounds of radiotherapy. So it was every day for 3 weeks. And I found that actually a little bit tough. I was quite tired by the end of it, but it could have been like accumulation of like you have chemo and then you have surgery and then you have radiotherapy, and in the middle of all that you have a pandemic. So I think by the end of that, I was tired, needed a break. I think having a cancer institute will mean that patients have all their services in one place, and will have access to experts for every stage of their cancer and their journey and their treatment and their follow-up. Having all that in one spot would just be amazing.
Good morning. My name is Eileen O'Reilly. I'm a gastrointestinal medical oncologist and cancer researcher at Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center in New York. And I'm a Trinity medical graduate. And thank you very much for the opportunity today to say a few remarks. So firstly, this is a tremendous occasion, and wonderful congratulations to St. James's and Trinity, and to Professor Maeve Lowery and Professor John Kennedy on the inauguration of the Trinity St. James's Cancer Institute, and the acknowledgement and recognition that this brings in terms of comprehensive cancer care. So to set the scene, I think it's known to the audience the importance of cancer care in Ireland. Cancer is a huge cause of morbidity and mortality, and Ireland is sort of high on that list. And this institute comes with the recognition of being a member of the Organization of European Cancer Institutes. It's one of a select number of organizations in the world. And this is captures the key essence of a comprehensive cancer center. And I can't stress how important that this is in terms of what it means for the future, for Ireland, for cancer care, and for research, and for improvements in outcome. It brings with it a huge opportunity for recruitment for the next generation of translational scientists, for clinical scientists, for innovations in drug discovery, for opportunities for philanthropic support. And as we always tell the person in front of us who has cancer, and this is what it's all about, is trying to change the state of the art and bringing the best science to lead to new outcomes and new improvements in treatments. And today's standards come from yesterday's clinical trials. So again, this is a really key development, and it's very notable and worthy given the prominence of Trinity and St. James's in terms of leading institutes and organizations in terms of teaching, education, and research. So again, congratulations. It's wonderful to see this happen, and I will look forward to seeing how this develops. Thank you so much.
I am delighted to be asked to speak about the importance of philanthropy to the Trinity St. James's Cancer Institute. It is nearly 54 years since I first entered the front gates of Trinity College to undertake my training as a medical doctor. It has been a journey that I cherish and truly and continue to enjoy, and have never looked back. The wonderful ambience of a university campus right in the center of Dublin, the lecturers, professors, and the many friends I've made have been clearly etched in my mind and has had such an influence in my life since then. Being a Trinity medical graduate secured me my first job with a medical practice run by a Trinity doctor practicing in Singapore, enabling me to continue with my connection with Ireland and with Trinity, and eventually becoming the Honorary Consul General in Singapore, representing Ireland in the 1990s. My first connection with St. James's Hospital was helping the then Provost, Bill Watts, in raising funds for the establishment of the Trinity Centre at St. James's. This was followed by helping Tom Mitchell with the quarter century celebrations in 1992, then working with John Hecate with the biocensus building, and now with Patrick Prendergast with the Inspiring Generations philanthropic campaign. Why? It's because of my love for Trinity and what it inspired in me, and for Ireland, a beautiful and friendly country. The Trinity St. James's Cancer Institute is one of the major initiatives of the Inspiring Generations campaign, and it struck me as a project I could identify with, as there is so much one can do to support pioneering cancer research, the translation of scientific discovery to patient treatments, and the training of the next generation of clinical and scientific leaders in the care of cancer patients. I congratulate both Trinity College, Ireland's foremost university, and St. James's Hospital, Ireland's largest hospital, in this commitment to establish Ireland's first comprehensive cancer institute. It has taken some time to come to fruition, but I'm confident that this new cancer institute will transform cancer care in Ireland. Philanthropy plays such a crucial role in making this a reality, and I encourage alumni and all to rally around support both Trinity and St. James's in establishing quickly this Cancer Institute. For my part today, I would like to announce my support for the establishment of a chair in immuno-oncology to be named the Patrick Prendergast Professor of Clinical Immuno-Oncology, in recognition of the tremendous work undertaken during his provostship in making Trinity College a truly global university of significance, and for the very successful philanthropic Inspiring Generations campaign. My hope is that the Trinity St. James's Cancer Institute will, in the very near future, and with the support of philanthropy and the government, enable Ireland to attract the best researchers, to work with the best clinicians in a state-of-the-art building, and to provide the best cancer care in Ireland. Thank you.
Okay, at this point, what remains, but most importantly, is for me, on behalf of everyone who has joined this extraordinarily important event today, as I say, those here present, those present in our other rooms online, and those joining us both locally and indeed internationally this morning, to thank everyone involved. But very specifically, we've just heard, firstly, I would like to acknowledge and thank Sharon for her most generous and courageous sharing of her experience. This is extraordinarily important, and it is difficult to measure for any of us how helpful a contribution such as Sharon has so kindly provided is, not only for other patients undergoing treatment for cancer, but for their families, partners, and friends. So we are really very grateful to Sharon. Likewise, to thank Professor Eileen O'Reilly, who not only speaks as an outstanding and internationally renowned leader in cancer care globally and a very, very preeminent member of the Sloan Kettering cancer treating community, but also I think on behalf of our many international colleagues who interlink with us. And finally, to thank the current Pro-Chancellor, Dr. Stanley Quek, for his extraordinary support of this project. And I think Stanley has outlined far more eloquently than any of us could his lifetime commitment to what is important as he has defined it. He is uncharacteristically modest, and I've had the privilege of knowing Stanley over many years. His attention to detail is legendary, but what is most important is his passion for genuine excellence and supporting excellence. So I think we are all extraordinarily privileged that Stanley and many others that he is working with have agreed to support this important project. And I know he is fully committed to the concept of partnership, not only with other philanthropic supporters and friends, but also, of course, working most importantly, and we're so grateful, Taoiseach, that you've taken the time to join this event today, with government and other public stakeholders in delivering on our objectives in relation to this project. So at this point, therefore, I'm going to bring these proceedings to a close, again with a very personal thanks on my own behalf, particularly to, Provost Patrick Prendergast, to Mary Day, to Mary's predecessor, Lorcan Berthistle, and to the many, many other colleagues, and I will not name individually, but so many of you who have worked over the last 5 years so hard to bring us to this stage today. Thank you very much, all of us, and we look forward to a most exciting future in the next stage of the Trinity St. James's Cancer Institute. Thank you.